say another song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 866. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley today. We are going to bring you part 2 of my intern interview with the Seattle, Washington duo called March to May. Plus, we hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer, and we just had 420, but maybe we should... Mike's Daily Podcast. Remember, synthetic marijuana is a big no-no. We find out why it is not good. Mike's Daily Podcast. And I have to tell you that I love Google products. It's true, but there's something I'm not a fan of what they do, and it's not how they give all our information to the CIA, which is also rude. I'm talking about the commercials they make where they try to look cool, and they always have this incredibly attractive yet nerdy actor who likes to smile. Mike's Daily Podcast. Isn't that just so horrible? Isn't that just so a pile Mike's of numbers Daily written in code podcast, making whatever thing you're using on the internet right? Those evildoers. I do like that commercial where they use that Roger Miller Disney's Robin Hood song with a Robin Hood, little John walked through the forest. Anyway, look who just walked in. Hello, I got these Chely Shoehart, job supervisor. Oh my God, what was that song you were just singing? It's a Robin Hood movie. Roger Miller, the late great Roger Miller sang in that, and it's really funny. Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, and it shows all these animals walking together in the commercial that you wouldn't usually see. And some of them are obviously CGI'd together. They would never, ever be in the same proximity to each other in real life. You don't know that, Mike Matthews. Maybe those animals really like each other. Yeah. And maybe I'm a god. Don't say that, Mike Matthews. You're right, I could never be a god. Although I do have a very shiny head. Look who else just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer, Mike. Do you think the Keeping Up with the Kardashians show is going to get more ratings than usual? Yeah, look at that guy. Bruce Jenner is going to explain his whole gender. The Jenner gender is what he's going to or she, whatever, is going to explain on Diane Sawyer. And yeah, I'm sure the Kardashians. I've even been watching it lately. Of course, like I say, with the sound off, I just cannot listen to their voices. They just, and the things they say. I know I'm not the most intellectual person on the planet, but dang, those people just like a hair above an amoeba. Actually, that's insulting to the amoeba. Mike Matthews, I once went shopping at Amoeba Music. Oh, yeah, they got those here in the Bay Area. Used CDs. It's weird, though. If you go to the one in Haight-Ashbury around there, they have they take your bag. No matter what you have, they got to check it in because too many people are stealing stuff. Oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, just don't be carrying a bag. I used to carry a man purse with me. For several years, I did this. I no longer do that, and I will not do that. I'm done with that. That was a dumb idea. But I used to like to carry my camera along with me, and because I was still married, my ex-wife used to like to shop a lot, so I would take some magazines out. This is pre-smartphones, and I'd take the magazines out and I'd read them that I had in my bag. But no more bags for me, because if I'm really bored, you just look at your smartphone, which is exactly what you see on the Kardashians. Those women just staring at their smartphones the whole show. Well, Mike, I can't wait to watch that. That sounds really interesting. Well, why don't you take your smartphone out and we'll watch you looking at it. Okay. I'm looking at it. Oh, I dropped my smartphone in my bucket of water because I'm Floyd the Floorman. And he has a mop for the water, which is also in the bucket. Amazing. Sounds like we're about to start a nursery rhyme. It does. Let's hear it for Floyd the Floorman, who cleans our floor and makes it look so nice and clean here at Cafe Anyway. Well, there's this thing that happened recently called 420. Perhaps you indulged in it, the National the marijuana day, where you smoke out or eat a brownie or whatever. But a new spike has been witnessed in illnesses and hospitalizations of people using the drug spice, a type of synthetic marijuana, according to newsmain.net. Poison control experts and the public health officials have suggested people avoid this drug. Poison centers across the country were inundated with calls from people seeking help for health problems being caused after using the drug last week. They received 1,900 calls for the same, which is 4 times the number of calls received during the same period a year ago. A health alert was also issued by Governor Andrew Cuomo in New York April 17th after the state's emergency departments reported that more than 160 patients sought help in a 9-day period. And in Alabama, 317 synthetic cannabinoid-related emergency department visits were registered in an 18-day window as of April 20th, said poison control experts. Dramatic rise in number of such patients has also been seen in other states, including New Jersey, Mississippi, Texas, Florida, and Arizona. Dr. Robert Glatter, an emergency physician at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York City, said spice users must pay heed to the warning and avoid it at all costs. It seems that there is some kind of new batch that has been causing health issues. People usually buy spice packets from gas stations as incense or potpourri, but they say that the warning, as mentioned on the label, is not meant for human consumption. Its contents contain some kind of synthetic drug sprayed on plant leaves. Federal and state regulators were prompted to make efforts to ban spice after it gained popularity in 2009. So what do you think about that? What do you think about Google's commercials? And what do you think about the Kardashians? Are you addicted to their show? You can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. I read your comments on the section emails from email and your and not so comments. You can comment there on our Facebook page at facebook.com/mikesdailypodcast or on Twitter. The handle is at Mike Talks. And you can find us at mikesdailypodcast.com, where you can listen to the show in iTunes. There's a link to where to do that. If you do that, go there and rate and comment on the show. If you do that, more people find out about us and we don't languish in obscurity. You can also find links to where to find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podomatic, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Player FM, and Ameristream. And I'm on the air in Connecticut weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. There's a link to where to listen to that radio show and where to listen to my country music radio show, which I do on the weekends. And you can also find us on Instagram, Yelp, and Tumblr. Links to those places, as well as the link to the Amazon link. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go to mikesdailypodcast.com and click on that Amazon link. And if you do that, we get some support from that too. There's also the blog, the Daily Podcast Picture, all my past interviews there at mikesdailypodcast.com. And we got another interview right now with March to May.
Into an interview.
I'm speaking with March to May, the duo with Darren Gayaz and Beth Weshy. And they've got a new album called The Water's Edge. And Beth, you were mentioning last time that you're the daughter of a U.S. Foreign Service officer?
Yeah, I am.
I don't know that many people that are, U.S. Foreign Service officers. What was that like?
It was kind of a great way to grow up. So the deal in the Foreign Service is that you never stay, you travel all around the world for your job, and you never stay in a country more than 2-3 years. So I grew up moving every 2 or 3 years, basically, to different countries around the world, and mostly in Latin America. And it was just an incredible way to grow up.
So you must have really good Spanish.
Yeah, it was my first language. I don't speak it very much here, which is sad, but it's still there. It comes back when I travel.
And you learned to play. So Darren was playing classical piano at 5, and you, Beth, play the harp. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. What got you into playing the harp?
So that's kind of a funny story. I'd always been doing music, but I was primarily a vocalist. I started classical singing around the age of 7. But I was also a competitive gymnast until I was about 14, and I just got way too tall and way too injured to keep going with that.
Wow.
And as I left gymnastics, I needed something, in a lot of ways, I needed something to fill my time. And I'd always loved music so much, and I had a friend whose mother played the harp, so that was pretty instrumental in helping me pick that up.
Wait a minute. A gymnast like standing on a bar and then flipping yourself around and
you got it.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
It was really fun.
You'll notice that's my interview style is you'll tell me something and then I'll go, that's impossible. That could never be done. And it's just because I could not, I don't know how you do that. How do you stand on a bar and spin around like it's crazy?
Usually you hold the bar with your hands, and that's a little bit easier, and you stand on a balance beam. But I don't know. I mean, it's funny because I think about it now a lot because I do really miss it. But when I sort of like visualize myself doing some of these things again, I'm just like, I don't understand how I used to do those things.
What like inspired you or drove you to want to be a gymnast?
I started when I was 4, just kind of as like baby gymnastics classes, and then I saw an exhibition by a competitive gymnastics group when I was 4.5, 5, and something in me just clicked and I fell in love with it, and the rest was history, and I started competing and loved it. But again, I mean, it's a very, very size-dominated sport. It gets exponentially harder the taller you get. So, and I'm 5'8" now, which is way tall for a gymnast.
Darren, did you do gymnastics?
I did for a short while, actually, when I was younger. But my parents had me try a lot of different things. So I did some horseback riding for a little while, and took like swim lessons and just did all sorts of things. Did skiing, martial arts. Did
you do gymnastic skiing?
I did a little bit on my own. I didn't have lessons, but I was definitely starting to get into some a few little aerial tricks when I was skiing.
How about gymnastic horseback riding?
Oh yeah. In fact, I was in the Olympics in 1996.
Wow. Well, I'd like to play this song.
He was a ninja, though. I think that requires a lot of gymnastics.
Doing what?
He took martial arts for a long time, so I said he was a ninja for a while. Which is pretty close.
That's very cool. And did you so you mastered throwing the stars at people and the ninja stars?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So my mom wasn't too happy.
You better applaud at a March to May concert because you might get a ninja star right in the forehead. So look out.
That's right.
Tell me about the song Crazy Universe from your album The Water's Edge.
It's funny. It's a song that I think we intentionally ended the album with, for one, just because it really ties into the Water's Edge itself. I mean, actually, the first lyric of that song, has the water's edge in it, and that's why we wanted to end with this song, just because it has kind of a special, I think, feeling for both of us, in the sense that life is somewhat unpredictable, and we don't really know, why things happen and when they happen, and I think this song just kind of talks about this love that not just pervades our own lives, but like in the larger sense that brings us together.
I love how this song builds and how romantic it is.
Oh, thank you.
It's it has this nice sort of building thing and wow, yeah. So kind of sucks that I'm single, but maybe next Valentine's Day I could play this for someone. Who knows, right? Like you were saying, life is
exactly.
Life is, you never know what's going to happen. Could be a curve.
Yeah.
Tell everyone where they can find The Water's Edge.
So as of tomorrow, it will be available on our website, and soon after, it'll be available on all major distributors, so iTunes, Amazon, etc. And of course, if you come to one of our shows, you can buy it there too.
Yeah, where are you guys going to be? Well, okay, so this is playing like Saturday, so you're doing the thing tonight, which is sold out. And then where are you going to be at after that?
We're going to be playing a couple more shows around Seattle through May, and then are planning to do, or May and June actually, and then are planning actually to do a little West Coast tour in July.
Ooh, okay. And they can find out more. What's your website?
Our website is just marchtomay.com, and probably the place that we have most sort of instantaneous information on is Facebook it's facebook.com/marchtomayband.
Okay.
Either of those places are great.
Let's play Crazy Universe now. It's March to May. It's Darren Gayaz and Beth Weshy on Mike's Daily Podcast. Darren Gayaz and Beth Weshy, March to May, and the song Crazy Universe as we go outside a cafe anyway here at the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley. And the next show will bring you part 3 of our 4-part interview with March to May.
And here's today's podcast picture.
So the Exploratorium in San Francisco has moved to this cool little wharf area in San Francisco along the Embarcadero. And I was there one day. You can walk around the entire Exploratorium on the outside and not have to pay. And so it's sort of a cheap little adventure. And I walked out to the end, and there was this cool seagull sitting there, and I could see that you get a great view of the Bay Bridge. It was a beautiful day, and I just thought, everybody's got somewhere to go. Even if you're Richard Gere, an officer and a gentleman, and you're screaming, I've got nowhere else to go! So that's why I have that picture. I hope you enjoyed it. It's very serene and pretty. And you can see that at mikesdailypodcast.com. Thank you, Mike Matthews, for posting that picture. It's so nice. And that song was really pretty, too. It was, wasn't it, Chely? Yeah, I was kind of dancing to it. I noticed that. You were dancing, sort of swaying. Is it because you are also in love? Mike Matthews, I have recently given my heart to the brewmaster. Oh, that is so nice that things worked out between you two. Yes, Mike Matthews, he makes the root beer, and then I make the chicken pot pies for my chicken pot pie bar in the gift shop of Cafe Anyway. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. So romantic. Pies, root beer, podcasts. It's perfect. Plosives. Next show, it's part 3 of my Into an Interview with the band March to May. Plus, we'll hear from Benita, the disgruntled fiddle player, and the brewmaster will be stopping by. Chely, tell him I love him. Aw. Now with more feeling. Aw. Yeah, you're getting there.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!